Good morning, Country Club. It's Billy. I'm standing out on 18 green, and as you can see, it's thinning out a little bit. It's looking a little bit pukey. Had talked to my friend today at Talus Park, and he said, "How would you describe your golf course?" And I said, "Pukey." He goes, "That's exactly how I would talk about my golf course too." So, as you can see, the El Nino weather here is taking grip and doesn't seem to want to relent. And really, that's what's going on with the golf course. The weather has just been awful. It's been cold, wet, and cloudy, and that equals no sunlight. So it's a function of maturity. This golf course is still very immature. There's a reason why they don't let high schoolers go play in the NFL right out of high school, because the abuse that you're going to take in the NFL, you're not ready for it. And unfortunately, our golf course is still very immature. Yes, we have grass coverage, but it's the ability of that grass to endure the punishment that we're going to put it through during a golfing season, and then try and have recuperative capacity. So I want to show you something here on how much sunlight we are normally getting. So check this out.
Club, it's Billy. I wanted to give you guys some quantitative analysis of what I'm telling you with regard to the weather. So I went to the University of Florida's automated weather network, and I downloaded the information from Immokalee on the solar radiation. And this is the actual amount of sun's energy that actually hits the ground. And so here is all of the data, and I just pulled some data sets out for October, November, and December for this year and the previous 3 years. So there's 20, 21, 22, and 23. And as you can see, October is pretty normal, November pretty normal, and then December is substantially abnormal. We're definitely getting a lot less solar radiation, sunlight hitting the ground, and that's due to the weather pattern that we've been in. So I wanted to say, okay, well, what does the beginning of January look? And you can see this is just the first 8 days in January. And if you look here, yesterday we only received 35 units of the sun's energy hitting the ground. And the previous day, we only had 19.48 units of the sun's energy hitting the ground, which is exceptionally low compared to the year before, and the year before that, and the year before that. So overall, if you look at these numbers comparative to the 23, 22, and 21, we are just having cloudy, crappy weather. And that means the plant is not getting the sunlight that it needs, and it is basically exhausting itself through its carbohydrate reserves being utilized to maintain itself. Now, as we continue to go through this weather pattern, we have to do things like raise the height of cut and increase our fertility, and we're doing all those things already, and we have been in anticipation of this El Nino weather pattern that we're having. But it is just solely a function of there is not enough sunlight getting down to the ground to fuel the plant's growth and recoverability. Remember, these greens were planted the middle of August. Well, I should say the back 9 greens were planted the middle of August. So they're very, very immature. They have very little recuperative capacity right now because of the sunlight, and they have very little endurance built into them because they're just so immature. So there's a bottom line. We have got very little sunlight hitting a very immature grass plant. Bermuda grass, like Tiff Eagle on the greens, requires a minimum of 8 hours of high-intensity sunlight. Now, it's not the backside of the moon black, but it is definitely getting a diminished amount of sunlight based upon the amount of cloud cover that we've been having. And so immaturity, lack of available resources to stay healthy, it's going to start declining. And there's really nothing that I can do about it other than fertilize extra, which we've been doing more sanding, doing a couple small tricks of the trade, but the real key is having enough direct sunlight, high intensity sunlight, hit that plant so that it can turn that solar radiation, that sun's energy, into food that will drive the plant's growth. So that's the story. And I want you guys to stay informed. We will keep putting the information on the blog so that you guys know what's going on. Take care, everybody.